Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It is my first.
If you're new to the Force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today, we cover Season 3, Episode 3, Dead Soldiers. And as always, we start by popping a recap. Colvin feels the sting of Burrell and Rawls during a Comstat assessment of his district's felony numbers. A blown wiretap forces Daniels' detail to return to a new target. Proposition Joe cautions Stringer Bell that the police have been tapping phones, as revealed by Cheese's failed bust. Carcetti continues to curry favor in Mayor Royce's inner circle with a scheme for jump-starting a police academy class for Burrell. Omar and crew get more than they bargained for during a stick-up of a Barksdale stash house. Colvin has a new crime reduction plan, one that he is not telling to the bosses. Already awash in police work, Bunk is dispatched on a mission impossible. McNulty probes deeper into D'Angelo Barksdale's prison suicide last year, while Marlowe suggests Fruit get his slumping sales numbers up with a persuasive visit to Bodie's crew. Cutty struggles to stay on the straight and narrow, still hopeful as he tries to reconnect with his long-ago girlfriend, while a group of colleagues gather to pay tribute and provide a proper send-off to a friend at an old-time Irish wake. The episode was written by Dennis Lehane, a novelist, highly regarded novelist, probably best known for Mystic River and Gone Baby Gone, and it was directed by Rob Bailey. It premiered on October 3rd, 2004. All right, Ellie, why don't you break out that epigraph for us?
The gods will not save you, Burrell. Thank you, Burrell.
Oh, is that true?
Is that right? Oh.
Not with that attitude, Burrell.
Oh my gosh.
It's Baltimore, gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I think that, again, like the epigraph, I think in this one really plays through a lot more. So, yeah, I think the one thing before we get into the predictions is, Ellie, I think for this episode, why don't you lay out like how you want to present this one? Because I feel like it's...
Usually this early in the season, I am just following separate storylines. They haven't woven quite together yet, but a lot of this is already starting to weave together. A lot of separate storylines are touching each other. And so I'm going to talk about Cutty and what's going on with him separately, but everything else I'm going to kind of go through as it presents itself in this episode. Some places I'll kind of group some of the action together.
Okay, and the reason I wanted to mention that before you get to predictions, because I feel like the predictions are normally like we can kind of take them story by story. This time so that's setting up the episode. Now let's get to your predictions before we get started. Okay. So here we go. Cutty will end up going back to Avon.
No, that's
so
not.
Now you did say maybe more trials, not making any money.
That's
so
true.
You got that. You got that part. You got that part. And I mean, I think that just like with season 2, he's in this episode he's trying to stay on the straight. So I think your instinct, is sort of playing out, but just not in this episode.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you 50%.
Okay.
Bodie doesn't move, and Marlowe gears up for a first go. Boom.
Oh, that did happen.
Right on the money. Nothing for the detail. Again, right on the money. So still, McNulty's doing some machinations, but the detail doesn't have anything, or they're getting started on someone brand new, and so we don't get to see that going on too much. Burrell will get more dependent on Carcetti. I think, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. So good job there.
Okay.
Although, it's interesting.
He's not sold on Carcetti.
No, that's
yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
Colvin will present an idea for a safe use zone. What? I forgot that you wrote this down.
Was on the wall.
Oh my God. Incredible. When you did say when the others catch wind, shut it down pretty quickly, but that part, but nevertheless, like A+. And Bubs will be in the next episode. Got that right.
Oh, yay.
And so, all right, good job.
All right,
well,
not too shabby.
All right, any initial questions?
No questions. Okay. This is a really great episode, though. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay. Well, I will square off one other thing. You asked about Caroline Massey, Detective Massey.
Oh, yeah.
And I dug up an interview from the podcast The Wire Stripped.
Okay.
And The Wire Stripped, by the way, great podcast. If you like this, I recommend that. I think they are more spoiler heavy. So if you're new to the series and you're following along with us, I would wait until you finished it before going back through. But they have a bunch of interviews. I don't know how they did it, but they have a bunch of interviews with actors on the show, including Carolyn Massey and now I'm forgetting her name, but in any case, so her story, her backstory was that they brought her in specifically to decipher the street talk.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, and I think that, and then just to close off, she was an officer on her way to retirement, but they brought her in to fill this specific role. And I think that the interesting part about it is at the beginning of the season, episode 1 of season 3, they have all of these wiretaps already set up.
Right.
And we don't see that part of it. Now, of course, like we don't need to because we've seen him do it in season 1, so that you don't need to repeat it. But on the other hand, it actually, now I'm like, with this kind of framing, I'm like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense because they needed someone who could understand it in order to make all these connections between people. And so, you know, it would have been kind of...
She may have brought that expertise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like, oh, that's, you know, he's talking about her over here, or she's talking about him over here, and therefore you're able to justify the wiretap.
Right.
So anyway, so that's the Carolyn Massey's backstory. So, okay, well, that is that. So let's take it away.
Okay, so let's start with Cutty, since he's kind of got a separate storyline going on. He is on a stoop in the beginning. He's talking to a woman. She seems to be kind of down and out. And we find out that he's trying to find this woman's sister, but her sister is, quote, not for none of their kind. And she's gone, again, quote, the county way. We've heard this before about going out to the county. So she's a teacher, and you know, it's kind of funny when he's kind of pressing for a little bit more information, and she does not like being rushed. She wants to tell the story at her own pace. But she finds out, or Cutty finds out, that this woman that he is looking for teaches speech at the Ida B. Wells School. All right, so I kind of get the feeling that maybe this is a former girlfriend, though we don't hear too much about that. Cutty is later boxing in his basement. He's doing his workout. He's a gorgeous man. I just have to say that. Cutty is, I'm not just saying because he had his shirt off and he's boxing, but he's really good looking.
Okay,
I just had to put that out there. He is probably like the best looking character in The Wire so far, in my personal opinion.
Okay. All right.
I'm a Cutty girl. Okay. Sorry, he cleans himself up really nice. He puts on a suit and a tie and nice shoes that he shines. And he gives his Mima a kiss. And she slips him a little cash in his hand. It is so sweet. She tells him, you know, these are times that you have to shine. And you got to shine in your pocket too. And he reluctantly takes it. And he goes out. And he is, you know, kind of at first I should mention, before this happens, he sees this, we believe, former love of his life come out of the Ida B. Wells School. And she looks like she's doing great. She's got her suit on. She's got a nice car. He does look kind of just like dumbfounded, like, oh my gosh, like what a change, right? So that is why he is looking so much better himself. Later on, he catches up with this teacher, Grace is her name, and he gets her to slow down and to talk to him. And he lets her know that he's out of the game. He's doing some landscape work, as we know. She opens the door. You can see there's a toy inside. He finds out that she has a baby and I think a husband. But she offers to hook him up with something in Parks and Recreation, given his landscape work experience. And I love this part. She says, it was good seeing you. And he says that looking at you hurts. And she says, shouldn't look then. So I loved that, actually. Yeah. Good on you, girl.
Slow up, girl. Come on now. So this a ride? It's nice.
I suppose you got a Lex?
Nah, girl. Got a bus pass.
You at the game then?
Yeah. Doing a little landscaping right now, but trying to figure things out. So, what's your boy's name?
Alan.
After Iverson?
After his daddy.
What?
Trying to picture you mowing a lawn.
Yeah. I don't be wearing the suit.
You look good in it still.
You look good, too.
You know, they bought a lot of folks out with early retirement in Parks and Rec. I could maybe hook you up with someone to talk to. A man at my church is helping the city fill a lot of those jobs.
That would be... Thank you.
Write your number there. He'll call you. I gotta go. It was good seeing you.
Grace. Looking at you
What?
hurts.
Shouldn't look then.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't. She, you know, it's almost like just reminded of. She knows what Cutty's charms are.
Yes.
And she's not having any of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He burned that bridge.
Yeah.
But I mean, not totally, because she's willing to help him out.
Yep.
So I like that.
All right. Yeah. Pretty fast. But I forgot to mention at the top, but I'll mention here that David Simon does the commentary on this episode. So I'm going to add a few things as part of that. The actress that played the sister and the teacher, same actress. So
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so they're like supposed to be like twin sisters.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
So there's
I
that.
thought they did look really familiar. I mean, they down to the haircut.
Yeah.
But there you go.
And you already mentioned, but I'll just to hit it is that, you know, the moving out to the county is what is a callback to what Carcetti was saying about people leaving. So there was that. So good job on that.
Yeah.
And then, so David Simon talked about how there were people, he talked to a lot of people who went into prison for some time. And he said that they would universally talk about how the city changed while they were inside. But they also mentioned that it had seemed like nothing changed East-West Baltimore for the better.
Right.
Whatever changed seemed to just make it worse.
Right.
And then the story about Cutty is kind of came from George Pelicanos, has written several episodes. He's in the writer's room, matches some of his fiction. So he's a character looking for redemption, and Cutty came as a fully perceived idea. So it's and I think there's something really important about recognizing what Cutty represents, right? So if you kind of think about every person on the wire filling an important role right?
Yes.
Cutty it represents, right? If you think about the drug game and how it's incarcerating people who are, who are dealing drugs or, enforcing as part of that, they go into prison and they have to come out. And so the question is like, what is their experience once they come out of prison?
Yeah.
And not to get on my soapbox, but we are a vindictive society, the United States is, and it's just really a shame. And so Cutty does represent this opportunity for us to look at someone who comes out of prison and, what do they face, and what would we as a society need to be able to do to make them, make their landing, smoother. And we talk.
They go through the process of rehabilitation,
exactly.
Right? That's all about second chance.
100%. Yeah. And I think that for some people, they think, well, you committed a crime, therefore you're stamped forever. And I mean, in a way you are, right? You're never going to erase that from your history, but we also should be a forgiving society. And if the society deems that, whatever your crime is, this is how much you have to spend in prison in order to, to do the time.
Yeah.
But after that, we should consider you,
That's the end of your punishment.
Exactly, exactly. So anyway, all right. So I'm glad that Cutty is such a handsome figure because it makes that message so much easier. So
I'm so glad too.
Yeah, and then David Simon also agreed with you, which is to say, you can't walk away from Cutty in a suit. So,
you sure can't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's that.
Okay, well, let's go on then with the rest of these storylines here. And actually the way that this begins, which is Kimmy talking about getting a new car. And we see that the three of them, Kimmy, Tasha, and Dante, are kind of on a bit of a stakeout. And they all get down in the car. Someone drives by. Later, Omar comes out. He is smoking his characteristic cigarette in the dark. And he tells them that they're boarding up windows and putting on extra pressure. Tasha wants to know why they keep on trying to get the Barksdale's stashes. He just says, because, and indeed. So we know that Omar is still, he's still following through with what he has promised against Stringer.
Yeah, they feeling it now.
They protecting the fuck out of it, too.
You see what you wanted?
Yeah, man, but they got the whole second floor boarded up. Got a little porch round back. A couple of the boys out there now smoking on them menthols.
So we slide up from the back.
That barred up, too.
No way through the front?
Not now. But come tomorrow morning, they gonna scale back down to the 3-man skeleton crew, you feel me?
Not sure I like this.
Why we gotta keep hitting up the Barksdale people? Ain't like this whole motherfucking city ain't got stashes all over it.
True that.
So why?
Because.
Because?
Indeed.
We go to an interrogation room, and inside is this bloody, passed out guy on a table. McNulty's looking at him, and we find out that's the guy that shot Dozerman. And Bunk is doing the report and has come up with a very good way to cover up the beating of this man, the police brutality involved here. Great. We see that McNulty is actually having Bunk look at some pictures of Dee's apparent suicide. And, Bunk, he asks him what he thinks, and Bunk, you can tell he just doesn't think it's all that important. He said, call Kofi Bryant or something, right? I think this is Kofi Annan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then he combined with Kobe Bryant.
Right, there you go.
Okay, yeah. Forrester comes by, that chicken, and says, you got to find the gun that was taken from Dozer, which we find out was purchased by a Peanut. Quote, Peanut is the name. And McNulty just kind of can't believe that they care about another gun being out there in a place that is more armed than most places in the United States. I can't remember what he actually says, if it's like the most armed in the nation, or is that true? Do you know?
I don't know, but
that's crazy.
Well, now I'm going to look it up, yeah.
Okay.
Western boys mistaken for a pinata.
So what do you think?
I think this is a tragic motherfucking miscarriage of justice. I think it deserves a special grand jury, and if not, the president should appoint an independent prosecutor. Oh, no. Actually, I think Kofi Bryant and the United fucking Nations should get involved.
It's a murder, Bunk.
The word from upstairs is that we're supposed to be having less murders, not more.
This is Anne Arundel County. Why should they care about that?
Why should you?
Hey, Bunk. Hey, how's it going? Listen, deputy wants to know, have we recovered Dozerman's service weapon?
No, sir. The kid said he sold it on the street. Gave only the street name of the buyer, a certain Peanut, whereabouts unknown.
You want that gun back?
Sir.
They don't have a departmental weapon on the street. As a principal. Look, the great white deputy has spoken. This case is not down until that gun comes home. All right, don't get up.
One of the most heavily armed cities in the gun-loving world. Why should those ignorant motherfuckers care about one goddamn semi-auto, more or less?
So, yeah, right. So we know this is the beginning of some hard times for Bunk, now that he's been given this missive. Okay, Prop Joe and Stringer end up talking. It's a rainy day. Stringer comes up with his umbrella. Prop tells him about what happened with the cheese and the, mistaken death. He says, it's a dog. What kind of dog? And he says, the kind that mistake your leg for the P word, which was actually pretty hilarious, though none of them laugh. So anyways, now Prop Joe and Stringer can confirm that their phones are tapped, right? That their lines are tapped, but both can confirm that they don't talk about anything important on the phone, which is good, right? Like they see eye to eye on the situation. That should not be an issue. Prop Joe says, do you know what kills more police than pills and liquor? Boredom. Right? He's so smart. He's just like, if they over and over and over again don't hear anything, then they're not going to be able to maintain these wires.
Yep.
And that's what'll kill it.
Yep.
So right.
Yeah.
So good, Prop Joe.
Yeah. And he kind of speaks to what you were saying, I think, in episode 1 about how disciplined Cheese is, right? Like you can see that the leadership comes down from Joe. So
for sure.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention just about the meeting between Joe and Stringer. It was filmed at the War Memorial Plaza across from City Hall, and they had to change locations because of the rain. Oh. So what do you bring me out in the rain for? Please don't get wet. I like that too. And when they moved to where they ended up shooting, they ran into a homeless city. And even for David Simon, who filmed the corner, wrote the corner, and he has seen some stuff. He said even the sheer depth of despair was pretty shocking, and they paid everyone a locations fee. But it's a note to me, and I guess it's just a reminder that David Simon, of probably anybody that anybody out there, has seen so much in terms of inner city and the inner city life, and for him to even be shocked by it, that's got to be something. And I think that, and the other reason I wanted to mention is because one of the things that comes up on the Wire subreddit is that people don't know the background of the creators of the Wire, and so they'll be like, "Oh, this is unrealistic," or whatever, and you're just thinking,
like,
I mean,
seen this with their own two eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. And he actually calls out something that is like slightly unrealistic in this episode. David Simon does, but nevertheless, they have seen more than almost anybody, and so they know where they cheated, and they know what they did. So it's just a reminder that he is, when he is writing the story, it's coming from a place of truth, or at least like what he's seen with his own eyes. And so just I liked connecting that as a good opportunity to explain, like, remember David Simon's actually seen a bunch of shit in his life. So anyway, okay, enough about that.
Okay, well, Carcetti is playing some kind of a number guessing game on dollar bills with Tony.
Yes, Tony.
Is that who is Tony? I've seen him before, but is he like a council person also?
He's a councilman, yeah.
All right. A reporter comes in, and off the record, Carcetti tells him that there will be no police academy class coming up, and the reason is to keep more money in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. And the personnel office will confirm this for you. Tony says, I'm not getting involved with anything that hurts the mayor, so Tony does not want to get involved with this at this point at least. So there we go.
Yep. The game is called Liar's Poker. Okay. And it's just like poker, like any other poker game. And you just say, here are how many numbers I have on here's the best hand I have on my the serial numbers on my dollar bill.
Okay.
And
you're trying to guess.
You're just basically trying to bluff the other person out, and that's it. And then you win their money if they call you and you win, or you have a better hand, right?
Wow, this is how they're spending their time.
I mean, yeah, clearly he's got bigger ambitions.
So much to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bunny and Mello walk into the headquarters there. Bunny goes to the bathroom. We hear puking, and it's Major Taylor, I believe. And he says that he can't take it. And Colvin tries to reassure him, it'll die out eventually, but he's just, this poor guy, he's just puking and sweating bullets.
Take this shit, Bunny. Hey, you'll pass.
You're just riding you now. Next week is somebody new. You can't take away your EOD, Marvin. The worst they can do is bust you back to lieutenant.
I don't even want to think about the worst these motherfuckers can do. You don't either.
He's really nervous, and with good reason, because when he goes in there and starts presenting, Rawls destroys him yet again. Taylor says, basically, I did what you wanted me to do. I did what you instructed, but they keep on, moving on and bowling over him. Rawls says, you don't have a clue. And Burrell then puts Rawls' deputy in charge right then and there.
Marvin's deputy, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was just like, damn, that's cold.
Yeah.
Sir, I deployed my resources per your instructions. We've beefed up foot patrols. We have our plainclothes squads on 12-hour shifts.
And the corners stay full.
They move, sir. Every day. They're going to sell their drugs somewhere.
Major Taylor, I look at your numbers, I see the intel reports, the photos. It all tells me that you lack a fucking clue.
If you'll permit me. Is your deputy major present?
Yes, sir.
You now command the Eastern District. Major Taylor, you are relieved. Take the podium. Anyone else having trouble with the writing on the wall? Dismissed.
All right. So later on, we see an abandoned set of row houses, and Bunny and Mello are there. And, they remark that the nearest elementary school is several blocks away. Okay, interesting. And we find out that, the row houses were going to be demolished, but there is no money for it. There's some, something about ignorance is bliss. Anyone ever tell you that? And then Mello makes a really bad joke about it. I didn't quite get why that needed to be there, but that's fine.
I think that it connects to the roll call when he lays out the whole plan. So anyway, keep that in mind. But yeah.
I see. Okay. Later, they are looking at another set of row houses, and really, Bunny is looking very excited. Like he looks kind of like almost tickled by the prospect of what he's considering here. Mello pretends to pass him a blunt. That was pretty cute. So yeah, they're pretty excited about what might be happening here. We're all getting a feel of what might be happening based on this. Anything to comment on about all of that?
Oh shoot, I'm looking for the comment. Apparently that was a joke that Detective Mello, Landsman.
Yes.
So the real Jay Landsman, he would make that joke like thousands of times. He made that joke thousands of times and when he was working the detail. So
are you serious? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Now, and so
they gave it a chance to shine.
Yeah. So how were you thrown off by this at all? Or obviously it becomes clear at the end.
It came on faster than I expected, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But no, the minute that they were talking about how far away the school was, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's
Okay.
happening. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not that different actually from around here where they're placing the permanent supportive housing for the folks experiencing homelessness, and all the people saying, well, where's the nearest elementary school? And it's too close to this preschool, and blah. Same story.
Yep.
Okay. Carcetti calls Burrell, gives him a heads up about the reporter calling about the academy class, and Burrell is pissed. He's like, I didn't want to backdoor the mayor. I told you that. But Carcetti tells him to play it innocent and just kind of bring it up to the mayor like, he had no clue, and do you know this is going on? So that he seems like the good guy in this situation. So Carcetti knows how to play these things.
Yeah. If you are re-listening to that or rewatching this episode, make sure you listen to Burrell give the Baltimore shit. Love that little touch.
I didn't know that was a Baltimore thing.
No, I don't know if it's a Baltimore thing.
Okay. It's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We are with the CID with Daniel. Daniel says to catch up McNulty when he shows up on what they're about to talk about because he's not there. Everybody else is. Daniels is debriefing everyone on a guy named Kintel Williamson, a.k.a. Prince K, from the Northwestern, and he's been killing people, 4 people so far. And, McNulty's not there, so Kima gets to be annoyed that they are not on Prop Joe and Stringer anymore. And, I like that Prez remarks that McNulty's point of view is still being repped here. So, 4 people dead is not enough for Kima. She wants to be on the case from before.
Yeah, and I think that there's an interesting component here is it feels like, you now start to see with this particular interaction, Kima starting to turn.
Yeah.
And then it kind of follows, they follow that with that conversation later.
Sure do.
And so you have to wonder, are there just archetypes that, people just generally fill one way or the other based on, whatever seems to. Yeah.
Exactly. The group dynamics.
Yeah. And you think about, maybe not, not so much in season 2, but obviously Kima and McNulty had a really special bond in season 1. So it just kind of, and so maybe she just, glommed onto that. She didn't necessarily have, and I'm sorry, I'm just now going on, but like Prez is kind of following Freeman.
Yeah.
And Kima's following McNulty. And so anyway, just very interesting.
Yeah. They're the most alike in personality. And even, remember when they were kind of like talking about the who they knew in the history of the drug trade.
Yeah.
And do you know this guy? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
So McNulty, what is he doing? He is at the prison, and he is escorted to the library where Dee passed away, and he takes out the belt that was used in Dee's death, we know murder. And he tries the strangulation on himself. He like hooks it up to the doorknob and over around his neck and sits down. And there's, the others are watching, and you can see from what he's doing, there's just way too much slack on the belt for this to have ever actually happened. So McNulty's on the case. Okay.
Yep. And David Simon said it would ruin it to explain it. He says a lot of, like as many TV shows do, but just like the fuck scene and
exactly.
Yeah, there are
just
no
watch
words.
What they do. You don't have to say it.
Yeah, but a lot of life goes by. He said a lot of life goes by unexplained, and so I this is not a life lesson, but I was just thinking, like, if you're writing fiction or whatever, and you can show not tell. It's always I'm trying to think of an example of when showing not telling doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, you have to actually. No, I agree.
And you're a fiction
illustrator.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing about Ellie's like illustrations is like the thing she is able to get the mind to do with her illustration. I'm not blowing smoke. It is really incredible. She does a Christmas card every year, and it's just it's one shot, and yet you're looking at it and you're like, see this whole story explode in your mind. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
so
it's always better to do that.
Yeah, definitely show not tell. So just follow the Wire's example if you can. So anyway, all right, continue.
Okay, let's get back to Omar's crew. The next day has this. Tasha is such a great actress.
Yeah.
And like acting as an actress, basically, in this case, right? Like,
right.
She's pretending to be this mom that can't find her baby, and she's so convincing. She's running around in her little jumpsuit with her copy of a picture of her baby and going up to people and looking really distressed. And it's just a fabulous distraction. She goes up to the guy who's guarding the stash house out front, and the minute that she tries to get his attention, Omar pulls out the sawed-off shotgun. Dante and Kimmy come up, and they all go inside and hold everyone at gunpoint. Omar has this guy take him to the stash. We see this guy a lot. Do we have a name for him? The one who's got the dreads?
Yes, his name is...
You can give it to me later.
I will.
I'll keep going.
It's oh my God, it's right there.
Yeah, because we see him a lot.
Gerard.
Okay.
Gerard. Sorry.
Gerard. Okay, Gerard. So they go to a room, and the guy, Gerard, has to unscrew the floorboard to remove the stash, right? And the drill, however, I love this. The drill's loud enough to be heard out the back where there are a couple of guys. So they are alerted now. And one of these guys signals the guys that are upstairs by throwing clothespins at the boarded up window. And one of them moves the window aside and sees, and he indicates how many of them are in there silently. And what ensues is this gunfight in front of the house, really intense. The four of them, Omar's crew, they run out, they hide behind a car. Bullets are raining down on them from upstairs and from the side of the house, and they're communicating with each other. They have sort of a plan, I think, in case this happens. They all reload to, quote, bang out again, and Tasha and Dante are told then to go, while Omar and Kimmy stay. And this is then when Dante, he like fires over his shoulder back at them, and I think he hits Tasha and kills her. And so Tasha goes down, and Kimmy is pissed. I don't think does she know in the time that Dante's the one that accidentally killed her? I don't know, but Tasha's dead. Kimmy's pissed. She just walks up and straight up kills one of the guys very boldly, not even trying to hide herself or cover or whatever. Omar has to pull Kimmy into the car, and the three of them leave Tasha behind in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be that he killed her because, like, the bullet is from the front of her head and the way she was facing, right?
Yeah.
I'm clarifying with you. I texted you after I watched it.
Text from Ellie.
Because it seemed like Stringer's guys were trying to take credit for it, and I wasn't sure if it was credit that was earned or not.
Well, it wasn't.
Okay. All right.
And without, I mean, but you're right. I mean, where the bullet came from, or where it hit her, obviously, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can see him fire, and
and it's like
falls
instantly. Okay.
And so,
God.
and so
terrible.
okay. So there's a couple of things about this from the commentary.
Okay.
But first, before I say that, like, come on. That's what Omar
How
says.
do?
I mean, I don't know why I haven't started saying that, but I'm going to.
You should.
Geez, how the hell? I mean, it's such
fabulous.
a good line. So this entire scene was conceived by Dennis Lehane, the writer. Another comment that the Stringer's guys are playing Halo, so I appreciated that.
Oh,
as
I didn't know that.
As a former Microsoft employee, yep, yeah, so we worked for Xbox, so that was great. God, Microsoft actually has a few presences throughout this series, which I think is hilarious because I just remember seeing AJ Soprano in The Sopranos. He had an iPod, so I just thought that was funny. Like Microsoft couldn't get on The Sopranos, so they got The Wire instead. So even though of course it's funny because The Wire is now such a long legs. But in any case, Simon said that they left about 80% of what he wrote, what Dennis Lehane wrote. But they said that it would kill them because it's going to take so long to shoot.
Okay.
And then when they finally got done, or they were finally shooting, he said to himself, "My God, we've done Mogadishu in West Baltimore." So Mogadishu is Somalia, where Black Hawk Down I think happened.
Right.
So there's that. And he said they got a ton of calls from the police because people were just hearing it. And
yes,
they were
I'm sure.
Yeah, so there was that. And then he mentioned something really, really interesting. So I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but David Simon's a huge fan of Westerns, and so they will actually drop a lot of like Western references into the show. And he was saying that the crime story in general has taken the place of the Western nowadays, right? So crime stories are essentially like it's the same kind of concept, really, but it's just now a different environment that they're doing. So what he said was in trying to be documentarian, right? So they're still trying to keep it at least somewhat close to realistic.
Yeah.
But they don't do it as he said they won't be as vainglorious as the final scenes of Westerns. And then as part of that, to make something feel fresh, you have to be aware of what was there before and what you want to say. So everything references something. And so they kind of conceive this as like thinking about the opening scene of The Wild Bunch. I've never seen The Wild Bunch, but I'm really eager to see it. So anyway, but like Tosh's death is just like, wait, what the hell just happened? Right. And so and so of course, like with all that framing, you think, okay, so it's a heist, right? And but it has this twist ending that you weren't expecting, and there's not a lot of like, rending of garments in the moment anyway. And so anyway, it's a really interesting take. And again, I just look at it as think like, I'm sure Ellie, you're familiar with, there are only 7 stories and, and
I've
so.
got it actually on the cork board behind me.
Oh, well, there you go. So can you name them all?
If I look over it, Rags to Riches, Journey, Tragedy. Yeah.
She literally has, oh my God, incredible.
Yeah. Overcome a Monster, Voyage and Return, Comedy, and Rebirth.
Okay, well, there you go. So good job, Ellie. That is the mark of a professional. But in any case, the point is that of course, like, so, rather than sort of thinking, oh, I'm creating something brand new, it's like, okay, well, I know, here's the framework that I'm starting, and then I look at what has also done this and done it well, and then what is it that I want to say. So again, I mean, David Simons, they're just such artists and of the craft, and so I just appreciate that, and I love hearing him talk about it. So I, get the DVD commentary or the DVD, or steal it from, as he says, steal it from somebody or borrow your brother's or whatever. But in any case, I love listening to him talk. So. Awesome. All right, sorry for the sidetrack, but
that was great. Okay. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I really, really thought that scene was fabulous. Yeah. Okay, well, back to Burrell. He's telling the mayor about the leak on the academy. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. The mayor wants Burrell to take it up the ass. He does. He's just like, you're gonna have to take.
I wasn't expecting such colorful language from you, is all.
Yes, you take the hit. Then you take the hit now. So, yeah, man, Burrell's just getting beaten down by the mayor, which is great for Carcetti in the long run, I'm sure, for whatever it is that Carcetti wants. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, now, of course, he drops this, like, it's almost like, how do I say this? I mean, it's just very much a, what's the word? oh God, I got the word abusive in my head, but it's not that. It's not because I don't want to make it sound like that. But I mean, but he drops the commissioner line at the end.
Right.
And that's the, you do this for me and I'll do this for you. And it's like,
right.
But he's just using him for the short term. So, yeah.
I know. It's, I usually don't feel something for Burrell, but
right.
I was really feeling for Burrell in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Bunk. In the meanwhile, poor Bunk. Poor Burrell. Poor Bunk. Bunk is running a query on Peanut, and there are 89 peanuts. I can't believe there are 89 peanuts. Although, it's a popular nickname. I call my daughter Peanut. So.
Well, and Peanut was killed in the last episode, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
not that guy.
Peanut.
Not that one.
Yeah, okay. So you better find him is basically, what he's told. Yeah, he says, what do I look like? George Washington Carver with all this peanut talk, which was pretty funny.
Yep.
We do overhear about the deaths of Tasha and the guy that was on Stringer Bell's side. Who's going to take it? Well, yeah. Who is talking to him? Is it Norris?
Holly's
talking to him. That's right.
Who we hate because he hates
yes,
Bubs.
Dude,
Yep.
I still hate Holly. They say Cole is up, but Cole's at court, and Holly says, "Hey, I took a cutting case the previous night," and he just stands there until basically Bunk is guilted into taking it.
Yeah.
And so he does. So now he's got to find this gun, and now he also has these 2 deaths that just occurred the previous evening.
Yep.
89. And that's just the ones with West Side addresses.
Man, you got to narrow that shit down. Find some way to work with all them peanuts.
Motherfucker, do I look like George Washington Carver? Shit. Cocksuckers got me chasing one gun through a city full of them.
Homicide, yeah. 2 down, Palm Mall and Pimlico. Got it. 2 down in the street.
Ray Cole's up.
Cole was in court today. And I caught that cutting in Cherry Hill last night.
Don't look at me. I'm in the haystacks looking for Dozeman's prodigal gun.
You gonna make me go back to back as a primary? That's some cold shit, Bunk.
Whew, okay.
Yeah, poor Bunk. And apparently that actually happened. The officer's gun got taken happened to Ed Burns' partner at one point.
Oh, really?
And I don't know that David Simon wasn't sure if they ever found it, but it did take like weeks and weeks of effort to try to find it. It became a department priority. So
that is ballsy to try to grab a cop's gun after you shoot him too.
Yeah, and just in case anybody was wondering, George Washington Carver.
Yep. Didn't he make like some like peanut harvesting or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so
a peanut harvesting machine or something.
Yeah. So he first developed the idea of crop rotation.
Rotation. That's right.
To help replenish the nutrients in the soil. Yeah, you got to grow
something in between the peanuts.
Yep. So it was actually for cotton.
Oh.
And but then he developed 300 different uses for the peanut. So there you go. Man. So that's good reference, and hopefully now you learned something a little about.
Thank you, George Washington Carver. Love me some peanuts.
And also, David Simon said that the default name for a man is Peanut. And
really?
And the default name for a girl is Peaches. In street lingo. So there you go.
Well,
okay.
That's so interesting.
That's why there are 89 of them.
Okay. I just thought like Peanut was like a nickname for a small person.
It could be, and it just sticks, sure.
I don't know. Okay, at the Western, the powers that be are trying to reclassify crimes so that they are not felonies, which, gosh, this surprised me. Like, even when they first were mentioning it a couple episodes ago, that, this was a way to sort of massage the numbers. I just never had imagined that was something that occurred. And it never occurred to me that numbers would be massaged that way.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Colvin says don't dress it up and fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Yeah.
And so that's what he does. Rawls is yet again pissed that the numbers aren't better. And Bunny says sometimes the gods are uncooperative. Daniels gets a call out for how great he's taking, how great he's doing, taking care of those 2 homicides from before. And in the meantime, Burrell comes in. He tells Major Reed about what went down with the mayor. Rawls goes on and on about what he would like to see and how he'd like to have it. There's a whole big fucking thing that he does that I'm not going to go into here, but you can if you want, Chris. It's just so, what is it, aggrandizing? There isn't going to be, is that the term, self-aggrandizing?
Oh, I wouldn't have used that,
No.
but I'm not sure what you're going for.
He just makes himself seem so grandiose.
Oh, okay.
I guess is what I think.
Oh, okay.
By giving this little speech.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's where you're going, if that was your characteristic or how you characterize it, then yes.
Then I did use the term correctly.
correct,
Okay, good. And
I would not have characterized it
Okay.
that way, but that's a different
I just
kettle of
think
fish.
he's just. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, he says there isn't going to be a goddamn Western District in 20 years if this keeps up, and Colvin's face is like, I know.
Yeah.
Basically, Burrell says to fuck the gods back.
Yeah.
He says it's Baltimore, gentlemen. The gods will not save you.
Yeah.
Major Colvin, I'm under the impression crime is down in the Western. Perhaps you misfigured your felony stats this week.
No, sir. You're very accurate. Sometimes the gods are uncooperative.
Uncooperative? This is a cooperative effort, a cooperative department. Why, in the Eastern District, Lieutenant Daniels exemplified this new spirit just the other day. Because of that, we got 2 fresh homicides in the black and a lot less bodies on the streets than could have been had that drug war been allowed to drag on.
Taking the hit in public for
This
the
is what we're talking about. Sacrifice
Where's
for the greater good.
loyalty, I ask you?
But in the Western, what do I get from a veteran commander? You're just having a laugh, aren't you, Bunny? You got the real stats and projections somewhere else. Someone's just outside the door with them, right? A stripper, maybe. That would be nice. She comes in, flashes a little tit, gives us a whiff of that muff, and delivers my fucking stat sheets with the reduction that matches just what we promised the mayor. That would be beautiful. That would be creme fucking brulee. But what I got instead is some half-assed, I wish we were doing better platitude that's meant to fool maybe a 6-year-old girl into thinking you're doing your job. Well, she's left the room, Major Colvin. She's out there right now asking the stripper if she can have her job when she grows up because she sure as shit doesn't want yours. You know why? Because there isn't going to be a goddamn Western District in 20 years if this shit keeps up.
I don't care how many years you have on this job. If the felony rate doesn't fall, you most certainly will. The gods are fucking you. You find a way to fuck them back. It's Baltimore, gentlemen. The gods will not save you.
Yeah, I mean, and so just to back up a little bit.
Oh, wait, is this where Rawls does his little monologue about the stripper and whatnot, or was that before?
No, this is
That's
it.
here. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I thought. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, all right, so I thought that's where you were going with it because that is, he's had some crude comments in the past, but this one really, I don't know what it was. It was like, it is crude beyond. I was just like,
it is, and just him standing up and screaming it at them too.
Yeah,
It's just, ugh,
yeah,
God.
and so. And so just to back up a little bit, so David Simon, when he was talking, when they were doing the stats review, he said this is how they play the game, and that's why you can only truly measure a city's crime rate by the number of people shot or stabbed, which, in a weird way, it feels true. And you basically like you can't fake it any other way. Like if that happens, it happened. Yeah, and there's not Anyway, fell on a glass bottle or something. Doesn't really quite,
right?
You don't get a lot of those. So yeah, and he's, and unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. And so Royce is really telling Burrell, fake the numbers however you can to match the number that I'm giving you, as opposed to just make the city fucking safer. Like whatever that ends up meaning. So that part is a whole separate thing. So
it sure is.
And then I just. Rawls' speech. I mean, it's one of those things where you listen to it and you're like, that is some fucking good writing. On the other hand, I'm like, wow.
I know. I mean, that's why it's good writing.
I mean, and then he's like, the way they tied together about the 6-year-old girl asking the stripper for her job, it's just like, oh my God, just so good. So anyway, and then just one little comment is that the blinds are like slightly open, and they're a metaphor for trying to let Colvin trying to let light in into the and be truthful.
I like
and
that.
So that was intentional. So
okay,
good job, David. So
Very
more
nice.
little touches from the artist. So anyway, okay, continue.
All right, let's go to Marlo. Marlo has asked to talk to Fruit. and he's concerned that Fruit's numbers are down. Fruit tells him about Barksdale's guys being there and taking the customers basically before they can get to him. And Fruit is given permission to use violence. He says, take some young'uns with you. So, oh dear, that's going to be concerning later. The Barksdale's guys are reporting to Stringer about what happened with Omar's crew. They said they got one of their broads. This is where I was kind of a little confused. Like, did they? They didn't. And lost one of their own. Stringer isn't really happy with that. He compares it to a 40-degree day, which is the kind of day nobody cares about, right? Like, it's not a shitty day, but it's not a great day. And in the meantime, Donette calls, right? And Stringer does not want to take it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What an asshole. She probably just wants to tell him, right, that McNulty came and is sniffing around.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, and he finishes up, though. I don't know who the guy is. Stringer's talking about what he wants, and the guy who's like a 40-degree day.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So they hit the goddamn alley, and we on him. That cock-smoking motherfucker with the big bitch gun, we was running hard on his ass, but...
I think I hit him.
Nigga, you ain't hit nobody.
I might have hit him.
Yo, String, we hit the one girl, but after that, man, I ain't see nobody catch no lead, man.
Except for Tank?
Yeah, Tank gone. The other bro dropped him, so I guess we even now.
So you get one, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's like a 40-degree day. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about a 40-degree day. 50, bring a smile to your face. 60, shit, niggas is damn near barbecuing on that motherfucker. Go down to 20, niggas get they bitch on. Get they blood complaining. But 40, nobody give a fuck about 40. Nobody remember 40, and y'all niggas is giving me way too many 40-degree days. What the fuck? Now, we gonna cover that bitch's funeral, her fucking wake. We gonna be all over that motherfucker till the bitch hit the ground. And if the faggot roll up to pay his respects, we gonna be on that motherfucker. Yo, who the fuck you talking to, man?
It's Donette, String. She been calling.
No. Put the phone down.
I gotta go now.
Hey, y'all film me on this?
Yeah. You show up, you know I'm like a motherfucking...
Like a 40-degree day.
I mean, I love that. I love that whole speech. It's so good. Yeah. And David Simon credited Dennis Lehane, and he said that Dennis Lehane came in with that line, that last bit, and they were crying, laughing. It was just so good. So I forget. I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head. I'll have to look at it. But he was just he was drawing the comparison that it was the opposite of Comstat, right? Also, where like nobody was taking responsibility for what happened. It was just anyway, and then of course, like, you have to call out Idris Elba, who just, I mean, it's just an incredible performance by him. Not that it's surprising at all, but he's just so good in that scene. He is. Yep. I recommend committing the 40-degree day speech to heart, because you will use it in your life. So another little mini life lesson for you. So.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Valchek, Daniels, Colvin, and the guy from Northwestern. I'm not sure who he is.
I forgot his name too.
Okay. They're chatting in the hallway after this whole rundown from Rawls about how they're going to get these results, the results that Rawls wants from them. And they ask Bunny how he's going to do it. And as the elevator closes, he says he might legalize drugs.
Yep.
And they all laugh.
So now it's all locked in for you if you weren't paying attention before. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's great.
So, Lieutenant, you got an attaboy from the deputy today, huh?
Cost me my wiretap, though. Still, it's good work over in Eastern. Knocking down a drug war.
Yep, he's gonna do the same thing for me up on Park Heights. I got this Kintel Williamson character who needs some fixing. Rawls promised me Daniels in his unit for about a month or so.
You're getting quite the rep there, kiddo.
So, Stan, what's your plan for the Southeast? How are you gonna give Rawls his numbers?
I don't know, flex squads on the corners, foot patrols in the Perkins homes, overtime out the ass, and if that don't work, cheat on the stats. So what say you?
Shit, me, I'm going to 12-hour shifts on the weekend, man. What about you, Bunny?
I don't know. Thought I might legalize drugs.
Okay, Burrell's meeting with the mayor. Felonies are down. Hey, surprise, surprise. But homicides are up. And Burrell asked to have more overtime. He needs some help at the courthouse. And we see State Attorney Demper, who we haven't seen for a while. He says, you don't have enough on these cases that you want us to try. Like, you're bringing them to us and we don't have enough to do anything with them. And they start, arguing with each other, yelling at each other. Royce tries to get everyone working together. Watkins is there. He says, Demper, this is after Burrell and Demper have left. Watkins says Demper's always been a hack, but Burrell is a losing prospect. Get someone new. And Royce is like, the ministers love him. He's got that. Royce says you want Burrell out, but you also want Yonetta Perkins out. And Watkins keeps arguing it's their time to go. Royce argues back that they are loyal, and loyalty means something to me. So I don't know, like in the beginning, you're kind of like, Royce is really pinning Burrell to it, but then he's also keeping Burrell in his position too. So, and probably Burrell does not know that side of things.
Doesn't know what?
Doesn't know that there are other people that are gunning for him to be
out.
Yeah. At least this much.
Also, I wonder if it's a little bit of the devil is better than the devil you don't. And so, Royce knows he's got essentially a lapdog who will take it for him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if, because it's an interim position, Royce knows he's got that kind of advantage over Burrell. But in any case, it is interesting to hear now sort of the other political kind of workings that are underway because and so anyway, Royce is making his decision and he's valuing loyalty over pretty much everything else. So
all right.
I don't think I have anything else for this. Oh, I mean, there's the part I wasn't quite sure about is I'm connecting it back to the first season and how Rawls wanted to charge the murder cases that he knew was already weak. And then that they would likely not get convictions, but they would go from red to black. And whereas now we counter it against this, where Burrell's complaining about not getting results from the courthouse. Yeah. And so but it seemed like in the first season, the results of the courthouse were kind of independent and kind of just a nice to have. So I thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic, but nevertheless, I don't know. It's just a maturity maybe of like the story itself, as opposed to where we have this vision of more of like the other politics that are involved, not just the mayor and the police department. So anyway.
Right. Okay, well, Landsman is looking over Bunk's shoulder. He tells him to basically stop focusing on the shooting of Tasha and this other guy and to go find the gun. He said she's dead in a zip code that does not fucking matter.
God, brutal.
I know, so brutal. So, again, poor Bunk.
Bunky Bunk, where's my bunk?
Cole was up, not you. You're on Dozeman's gun, remember? Cole was at the courthouse. Sue me. Rawls and Forrester have crawled up into my backside. I'm not going to stay there until you find Dozeman's gun. Now, I would like it very much if I could unclench my ample-ass cheeks, if you don't mind, and rid myself of that discomfort. Jay, I just caught one that pushed its way all the way to the top of my stack. A victim, Jay, on the real side. Do tell. Second body in a double. Girl in her 20s. Caught in the middle of a firefight, takes one in the dome. But she's still dead in a zip code that does not fucking matter. And you still owe me a departmental issue 9. Find the fucking gun, Bunk.
McNulty, Kima, and Perlman, and Freeman are having beers. They're talking about how annoyed that they are that they have to take on Quintel Williamson. Kima's like, my partner doesn't even tell me where he goes these days. And McNulty says he was at the library, which is shocking to them. Yeah. Until they find out it was the library where Dee died. And he tells them Dee wasn't a suicide. Kima says, this is kind of weak. And then Perlman stands up for what Cedric
Yeah.
needs. Cedric's needs, which is to leave Stringer to narcotics. And Freeman says, hey, you need to be loyal to Daniels after
Right.
what he did for you. He took you off a boat, Jimmy. So that's not going to stop Jimmy.
No.
It's not.
No. I mean, and it's interesting to think about, like, loyalty for Jimmy. Like, it really shows what he's about.
Yep, exactly. One track mind.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy is drinking out by the tracks with Kima, who just finished taking a squat in the bushes. I love that. She's zipping up. Kima starts going off about how significant others know your police when they start dating you and everything that entails. And then they get mad when you don't change later. And McNulty's kind of like preaching to the choir. Yep. McNulty says he's going to come down to the Western to find out where Barksdale's crew has gone since the towers have gone down. Kima reminds him, hey, we're supposed to work on this Prince K, but McNulty says that can wait, and she concedes pretty easily. We also learned that this is where McNulty holed up before he was a detective, right? Like maybe when he was on the beat or what, did he work in a different area?
Yeah, he worked in the Western District.
I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how he didn't go home many nights, and Kima has this realization that she's kind of doing the same thing here.
Yep.
She's becoming McNulty.
Yep, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How come they know you're police when they hook up with you? And they know you're police when they move in. And they know you're police when they decide to start a family with you. Now, all that shit is just fine until one day it ain't. One day it's, you should have a regular job. You need to be home at 5 o'clock.
You need to calm more.
I'm saying.
You need to stop fucking waitresses.
I want to come down here tomorrow to the Western. See what's what since those towers came down.
We supposed to start on Quintel tomorrow.
Oh, fuck that chump. You can wait a day or two.
Yeah, okay. What the fuck? When you were humping a radio car in the Western, was this your hole?
Yeah. Here and down on Winchester under the bridge?
But there were a lot of nights you didn't go home to the missus. Don't tell me I'm the same kind of asshole.
Pucker up, girlfriend.
Jesus. I'm turning into McNulty.
Yeah, I mean, just one little quick note. So yeah, David Simon said that they had to have Kima take a leak because everybody else who was at the railroad, drinking at the railroad did that.
So, leak, yeah.
So,
That's right.
And so anyway.
That's a great reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else takes a leak at this location.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so he did mention though the zip code comment from Jay Landsman. He said some days I publish a script and I feel like I have to call my mother and apologize. Simon said that. So anyway. And then he shared a funny story about Delaney Williams. Grew up within a block of the only great delicatessen in Washington, D.C. called the Parkway Deli.
Okay.
And David Simon used to go there regularly. And so they're sharing stories. Mm-hmm. And Delaney Williams said, yeah, I worked there 5 years. Don't you remember?
Oh, seriously?
David Simon just like stared at him. He's like, oh my God, this is the guy cutting meat. And it hit me. I'd seen him 100 times or, hundreds of times and it didn't register till and then he said the entire world is made up of 200 people and we just move around. So I like that line. So anyway.
So true.
Yep. All right. So.
Okay. All right. Omar is smoking in bed. He is really sad. Yep. He's trying not to cry. And to do that, he burns his palm with a cigarette. Ouch. Mm-hmm. He goes out to the living room. He tells Kimmy and Dante that Tasha's death is his fault. But this does nothing for Kimmy. Were Kimmy and Tasha just friends or did they have a romantic relationship?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you can't tell because she's very protective.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Dante and Tasha go run while Kimmy and Omar stay behind and shoot. Like they're kind of more the protectors of somebody else.
Yeah. I definitely feel like they were more experienced in the whole process. In fact, when I was watching that again, Kimmy is kind of the way that they laid out the cover fire
Yeah.
was really smart, right? And so like
Yes.
when people had to run, it felt very almost like military, and she
Oh,
was
for
there
sure.
and she was covering the windows and the doors
Yeah.
and making sure that Tasha and
Kimmy?
no,
Oh, sorry, Dante?
Dante, thank
Yeah.
God. The name just fell out of my head. Anyway, that they were able to get to their next spot. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So, but I actually always assumed that they were lesbians, but I'm just completely
Yeah.
projecting because I was like, well, you have a
Right, you can't really
gay
tell.
male couple
Yeah.
and a gay female couple, but there's no evidence that
Okay.
that's true. So
So the Barksdale crew, they're on the street, and one of the, I think they say Poot, but I didn't hear Poot. But it sounded
no,
like
I think
Put.
it was Puddin'. Yeah,
Puddin'.
Puddin'.
Oh,
Yeah,
Puddin'.
yeah,
Okay, Puddin'.
yeah.
Puddin'.
Mhm.
They are noticing that Marlowe's crew isn't on their corner.
Mhm.
And just as they wonder where they might be, they come up in a car, they jump out, they've got bats, and they beat the shit out of them
Yeah.
just over and over. This is another brutal scene where I was
Yep.
just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, and they are just, they just as quickly jump right back into the car, and these guys are just laid out and bloody all over the street or all over the sidewalk.
Yep.
Okay, shall I continue?
Yeah, sure.
On that note, Tasha's laid to rest, and there waits the Barksdale guys to see if Omar or any of his people arrive. They do not seem to, but we do finish with Omar watching in the shadows.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, and so it's not explicitly stated, but Omar paid for the wake.
Oh,
and her burial and
Okay.
that kind of thing, but of course nobody's there. He
Nobody's
knows enough not to actually go. So
Yeah. Okay, next day, Keema and McNulty are looking at an active street in the Western. They're like, who are these guys? But then you see Bodie. They're like, oh, yeah, we know these guys. Some of them look familiar. And they're trying to understand how they can just stretch out like this and do their business without any wars going down that we know of anyhow. Jay Landsman calls and tells McNulty that Ray Cole dropped dead on Stairmaster.
Yep.
That was just sudden. 1 minute we know that Ray Cole's like at the courthouse, and now he's dropped dead on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Okay, Carver's reading some news about the No Academy, and he's reading aloud Burrell's quote about it. When Keema and McNulty then walk in, they ask them, why isn't anyone beefing with the Barksdale crew? And Herc says, well, it's just because we're that good, basically. McNulty asks, what do your CIs say? And they don't have any CIs, even though this is something Keema counseled them on in the past, right? And they basically tell Keema, go get your own CI.
Yep.
So they're going to. All right, they're going to.
Uh-oh. Downtown in the house.
Hey, Keema, baby.
Hey, Alice.
So what do we owe the pleasure?
Cruising your district. Seeing what's up since the towers fell.
We see Barksdale crews on a few corners, but no one seems to be beefing with them. What's up with all this brotherhood?
Well, we keep the lid on tight. They know we're not their friends, and they damn well know that we'll take it to them if they don't behave.
What do your CIs tell you?
Fuck CIs. We don't need no stinking CIs. We tune them up, we beat them down, we lock them up. It's the Western District way.
Sergeant, we wanted a roll call for a supervisor's meeting.
Gotta go.
Remember what I told you? Police is only as good as his informants.
Yeah, well, we ain't downtown no more, Keema. We're in the trenches here. You want information, you go get your own CI and you shoot the shit.
Right then, Carver's brought into a debrief by Colvin, and this is where they find out that they're moving all street-level trafficking to these 3 blocks that he was looking at earlier. And if they move to this area, away from residential areas, away from schools, away from businesses, then they can run drugs without any interference. It's going to be a hands-off approach. And everyone there is pretty upset that these guys are going to get a free pass. Colvin tells them to take the long view. Once they are down there and comfortable, then we do the police work, and he compares it to shooting fish in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So, it kind of seems like he's telling them, we'll get them all rounded up in these 3 blocks, and then later we're going to arrest them all for their drug use. Like, that's not exactly how a free use area works.
No, correct.
Okay. Is he just trying to make them happy for now?
Well,
or is that what he really thinks he's going to do?
Were you done with the scene, or did you?
Yeah,
yeah. I
with
mean,
that scene.
well, so I think that exactly. I mean, so Mello's comment, you get to beat the dog piss out of everybody that doesn't get off the corner. So I mean, ultimately, they're not seeing the logic of what he's doing, which is interesting because compared to last episode, I thought he made a really compelling argument. It's like, how many times do you guys want to go into a reverse drug buy and get shot? Like, why would you do that? And but on the other hand, they're like, they don't have any kind of they can't see any kind of other benefit. Why would you do this instead? So he's not selling it particularly well, so they just resort to, here are the base instincts. Right. Here, I want to arrest people. I want to beat people up, and that kind of thing.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I mean, and so I just felt like it's important. David Simon's comment here about that this is social accommodation rather than pretending you're controlling it. And the drug war being a just incredible disaster, and it's a failure of tactic. Yeah. And it's but what Colvin is presenting here is politically untenable, right? This is not something that any politician or anybody that's in a public facing dependent position would ever advocate for. But it's too much, right? It's like it makes logical sense, but at the same time it doesn't work. And so he says that The Wire is not cynical about humans. They believe that humans will try their best and try to do what's best, but they are incredibly cynical. It is incredibly cynical about institutions, and that's kind of what you're seeing here. Is that the police force itself is they're cynical about that trying to change the police force is incredibly difficult because it's stuck in its ways. Yeah. Whereas Colvin is trying to change, right? And he's gotten Mello on board and so on and so forth. So, but you're trying to change now this bigger group, and it's a much, much more difficult proposition.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, Bubs and Johnny are at a soup kitchen when Kima and McNulty come in, and they ask him if he's ready to work, and he is. And Johnny does not respect him being a snitch, but Bubs gives his reasons, mainly that it's these two. These are my people, Kima and McNutty, excuse me.
Yep, exactly.
It's easy money. And McNulty tells Kima he's going to head out of there early because they're going to keep up this tradition of how you treat a fallen officer the night before his funeral. So Kima says, okay. So we know that Bubs is back as a CI.
Yep. Yay. And did you hear what he said at the beginning of the scene, or did you recall what he said?
No.
Okay. He said, "Food blast will take your mind off of it."
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes.
And then Johnny responds, "I'd rather have my mind on it." Yeah. And I think it was just one of those.
Right.
It called back to what you'd commented on last time, right?
Yes. Yes.
So like the hope that, I mean, and you could see Bubbles, right? He's now trying to do something different.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
He's got to make money. Gotta get some drugs.
All right, keep those fingers crossed.
Okay, I will. See here, Donna's trying to call String again, and again, he says, "Not now." Jerk. He goes into his office, and we see all the guys that are bandaged up, and Bodie says, "Marlo, it's a problem, String."
Yeah.
Bodie tried to tell him.
Yep.
And he would not listen.
Yep.
He was just like so rude to Bodie, and Bodie was just trying to give him the straight talk.
Yeah.
He's going to learn now. I'm curious what happens with this. Okay, so let's move on now to Carcetti. Oh my God, I hate this. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, they're at an oyster roast for the local Democrats club, and Carcetti is talking to a rapt group about a bill for this early all-day kindergarten and how it was, quote, loved to death by people, adding so many things to it that it got to be super duper expensive. And we see that his wife and his children are beside him. But while he's giving this, little story here, he has a glance at this very pretty lady bending over at a table. Gross.
She was just putting her shoe on.
There just happened to be a lot of cleavage while she did it. Anyhow, Carcetti.
I didn't even notice. I was just looking at her shoe.
Yeah. Yep. Carcetti goes to sit next to this pretty lady who is having. Now, first of all, his wife and children are still there, and he goes and sits, and he straddles this bar stool next to her, and she's having only a club soda and lime, and he says, "You won't get there that way." Get where?
Jesus Christ.
Gross. He's gross.
Yeah.
But then he sees an annoyed-looking Burrell, so he goes over there. He says, sorry, I didn't know the mayor was going to do you like that, but, you know, you got your recruits, you score points for your loyalty, which is true.
Yeah.
I don't think it's much consolation, but it is true. All right, Carcetti sees his wife and his kids off, and then he stays late. The interaction with the wife at the car is kind of weird, right? And I don't know. It's not very warm.
No.
He's...
she's being warm to him. Yeah.
She is,
Yeah.
but he's kind of like got his hand on her shoulder. She's a little bit at a distance, and there's a little teasing. I don't know. He says like, fuck you, or whatever.
Yeah.
I wondered maybe he doesn't want it to look to the pretty lady like there's something more sincere there. In case she was seeing. But I mean, the next scene that we have is Carcetti. He's doing her in a hotel bathroom.
Yep.
And he's looking at himself kind of weirdly in the mirror
Yeah.
on occasion. Ugh! It is just unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. David Simon said there's all kind of symbolism here, but I can't remember what it was. Great line.
That is a great line.
I mean, it's it's just pure
it.
narcissism, right? I mean, it's all about him. So
yes, it is.
I mean, and I think that not to hit the point that hard, but it is interesting because he talks. If you kind of rewind all the beginning of the season, he's like, it's about crime and it's about keeping Baltimore, trying to hold on to what it is, and you think he's got these grand ideas, but turns out it's all about him and his own ambitions. So,
exactly.
Yep.
Does that pretty lady come back, or is that
she does not?
She's a one.
So I might as well mention her. She has fantastic back muscles.
She does.
I just noticed that her
back
her
muscles
back
are beautiful.
Yeah,
she has a gorgeous back.
Yes. Okay. So
she does.
I said that without sounding
I
creepy,
could say
right?
It. No,
okay,
you did not sound creepy.
Great.
Okay. All right. We're at an Irish bar. Ray Cole's laid neatly on a pool table with a bottle of Jameson in one hand and a cigar in the other. We never see his face. We just see his uniform and his pin and all that. Landsman gives a rousing and fairly emotional toast/eulogy of sorts, which boils down to basically, Ray was sometimes good and sometimes okay and sometimes not great at his job. That's basically what I got from that.
Yep.
And I wonder if maybe he feels a little bad for how he treated Ray.
Oh, interesting.
Like he kind of he didn't think Ray was very good for sure.
Yeah.
He under the table kind of passed cases to other cops that he thought was better with.
Not even under the table.
Yeah, in his face, right in his face. Yes. Anyhow, they toast to quote unquote Old King Cole, and then everyone starts singing. Is it a Pogue song again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wondered. It sounded
Body
like
of an
it.
American. Yep.
Okay, they start all singing that. Everybody does.
We are police. So no lies between us. He wasn't the greatest detective. And he wasn't the worst. He put down some good cases and he dogged a few bad ones. But the motherfucker had his moments. Yes, he fucking did. You remember the Mississippi extradition, the arson murders?
Right.
He brought that case home. And the triple, at the after hours over on Hudson Street, that was Ray Cole at his best. And Fayette Street, 93, the drug wars. He took a lot of hot corners and cooled them. Yes, indeed. He won as much as he lost, much as any of us.
For Christ's sake, Hugh, play the fucking song already.
Did he piss off a wife for 3? No fucking doubt. I think the last one actually kind of got used to him, thank God. Did he say the wrong shit now and then? Did he bust balls and cheat on his taxes and forget to call his mother and fuck the wrong broad for the wrong fucking reason every now and then? Who fucking doesn't, Christ? Was he as full of shit as every other sad sack motherfucker wearing a badge of Baltimore City Police? Abso-fucking-lutely. His shit was as weak as ours, no question. But Ray Cole stood with us. All of us. In Baltimore. Working. Sharing a dark corner of the American experiment. was called. He served. He is counted. Old King Cole. Old King Cole.
Bunk and Jimmy are super drunk outside the pub. Bunk is expounding on the life of a police officer, just the life, life in general.
Yep.
And how you do all this shit and then it can be over just like that,
Yeah.
Bunk also reminds us that Jimmy still owed Ray a clearance on the Omar thing. Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Yep.
Jimmy's like, I know. And then I think it's Vernon Holly that comes out.
Norris. It was
it's Norris.
yeah.
I keep getting them confused.
They're bald.
I know one.
I like
they're
how-
both bald. They have like the same body. I know one is white and one is black.
Okay, I
but
was
the
gonna
other
say.
guy is pretty light. Like Holly's pretty light skinned.
Yeah,
so from
yeah,
a
yeah.
distance, it is hard to tell.
Sure.
Anyways, Norris comes out. My bad. All bald guys look the same. To
Yeah,
me.
there you go. See, that's what it is. Yeah.
My husband is bald. I'm just joking about that. Anyway,
Your husband is incredibly handsome, though,
he
so
is
that's why it's easy to
hot.
distinguish him.
Hotter than Cutty. I'll just say it right now. But only by a little bit. Okay. Sorry. I got to finish this up. Norris comes out. He tries giving them, he gives them another shot to take. And then he goes over and he pukes.
Yep.
And that's all I got for you guys. That's everything.
Yep.
Jimmy. Shit is fucked. You fucking wake up like any other day. You fucking eat. You think about bills and dry cleaning and shit and fucking vacation and your fucking retirement plan. What? Like that. Like that. Dude, he checked out of here. But you still owing him a clearance on that Omar thing. Oh, I know. Fucking know. Like that.
I'm a fucking Stairmaster.
On a fucking Stairmaster.
Wake up and die right, you cunts.
So, all right, there is a lot about the wake. So
Yeah, tell me about
all right,
that.
So the kind of the start. So they had not planned this as part of the season, but because Bob Colesberry died between season 2 and season 3.
Shit.
Yeah. So they wrote this in as a send off to him.
I
So
didn't
David Simon
realize
said that if there was ever a scene that Bob was going to give him a hard time on something, it would have been this. So he had to work. He worked really hard to try to have it start. He knew that he had to give the proper kind of tribute and make it heartfelt, but he also didn't want it to be so over the top sad that people hated it or whatever, like felt like shit. And so of course like they pulled that off, I thought, quite nicely.
Yeah.
And the song itself kind of fits that, right? It starts off this really slow dirge and then it picks up and it's a really fun kind of song. And I'll mention here that I'm going to start crying. So I was, when my dog died, Mercer, when he died, I was driving him to the vet because he had cancer and he was doing terribly, and I was like, okay, we got to go put him to sleep because he just wasn't. And when I drove to the vet, I played this song, and he died on the way. And so
Chris,
anyway,
I didn't know this was the song.
no, I mean, I was like, what? I got to play something. I can't just have some random song. And this was it. So to me, it's like a perfect funeral song.
Yeah.
So anyway, but to get back onto the lighter side, so the bar that they were at is on Madison. It's now a lesbian bar, so I appreciate that. So there's that. But a couple of other comments here. So Delaney Williams talked about how, I won't go too far into it, but he was saying that they were just colleagues, he and Bob Colesberry, but every time I dealt with him, he made me feel like a better human being. The scene takes 2 or 3 minutes, and of course we shot it for probably 8 hours. I guess the hardest part for me was that I was the only one who was allowed to be who had to stay sober, which was pretty funny. So anyway, and then in All the Pieces Matter, there's a whole section about Bob Colesberry and kind of the reaction to his death, and without exception, everybody is like, he was an incredible person.
Oh,
so
I love that.
I would just recommend get out of the library, read this part if you want to know what it means to leave your mark on the world. So, all right, a couple more things before. Sorry, I'm going on and on.
No,
but
okay.
so the eulogy itself, he talks about took some hot corners and cooled them. That is a reference to Bob Colesberry's work on The Corner.
Okay.
The Mississippi extradition was a reference to his work on Mississippi Burning, the movie.
Oh.
And the After Hours he worked on After Hours, which was a movie by Martin Scorsese. So just kind of interesting. And then he said, and then his third wife got used to him, thank God, was because a nod to Karen Thornston, who we mentioned last. She did the commentary at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
That was his actual wife on the show. That was his actual wife, and they worked on the show together, which is pretty neat. And then finally, Simon mentioned that this isn't actually a tradition for police officers to go to a bar and be laid out like this, but felt very believable, doesn't it?
Did.
And so he said that Tom Wolfe, who is a fantastic writer, also said all cops become Irish no matter where they're from.
I did love that, like that the black cops were singing it, like everybody was.
Yeah, and then there's some kind of symbolism. I don't know what it is, but at that last shot of Norris and Bunk and McNulty standing there, and the hearse is parked going like right in front of a do not enter sign. So it's parked on the wrong side of the road, or it's parked on a one-way street going the wrong way, which just felt, I don't know what exactly the symbolism is. I don't know. You're a fiction writer.
Seems like there should be.
Yeah. Somebody's subconscious was working.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a terrific scene. And so I watched it like 3 times and I still kind of tear up at it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, that's all you got?
That's what I got.
Okay. I wanted to mention one other thing. Just interestingly, the Comstat, Rawls like losing his shit at Comstat, and then Marlowe talking to Fruit about his numbers.
Yeah.
And just the two different styles.
I know.
And Fruit got the results he wanted, and
right.
Rawls, is completely ineffective. So
true.
Yeah. So
and Marlowe doesn't have to be a screamer to get what he wants.
Exactly. Yeah. And so anyway, okay. All right. Killer. So that gets us to our category. So killer cameos.
Mm-hmm. Do we see Grace again?
We do.
Okay, so then she can't be a cameo. I guess it's got to be beautiful back woman.
Well,
is there somebody else?
Well, I'm actually going to make an exception.
Okay.
To the rule, because I know she appears in another episode, but there's really only one. I was like, there's a clear winner.
Yeah.
It's Mima.
Oh my God, Mima.
I mean, come on.
You got to shine.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Mima is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go on
what
now.
A lovely,
lovely so good.
woman.
So
yes.
and so and I mean, just
yep, Chris,
dropping
that's
pearls,
right. That's
dropping
it.
pearls of wisdom, and just on top of giving him money, she's giving him all this knowledge. So beautiful stuff.
Lovely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we mentioned. So let's talk about here really quick.
Okay.
The theme song is a different theme song, right? Tom Waits did season 2, and I don't know why we didn't mention it, but it's being sung by the Neville Brothers. And I looked it up. I was trying to figure out, what is it about the Neville Brothers? I actually don't think there's any symbolism to it at all, really.
Just
felt
like doing something
it's
different.
It's an interesting rendition, but but obviously, as you talked about right away in season 2, is that the imagery was all different, and of course, like in this season, it is as well, right?
Yeah.
You see a lot more Comstat representation. You see the politics. You see the Capitol City Hall and stuff like that. So just where the Neville Brothers play, they just an interesting rendition of the song, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing else to it. So, okay. So let's get to our Mr. Nugget's life lessons.
Let's hear some life
Do you
lessons.
have any off the top of your head?
Do I have any off the top of my head? Just, I think we've said this before, but don't burn any bridges.
Yes.
I really think that one is important because you never know when you're going to need somebody's help, when you're going to need to call on somebody, whether it's, Cutty going to his former girlfriend or, the mayor not cutting Burrell loose.
Mm-hmm.
Just lots of times. Yeah.
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 Always a good one.
You might need
Always
to
a good
turn
one.
back to your former CI and, so.
Yes, indeed.
Treat him good.
Treat him good. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, always a good one.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna add a couple more.
Please do.
No 40-degree days. Aim for.
Yeah. Yes.
There will be plenty of 40 degrees days in your life,
Yes.
but, you know, that's not the big one. But I also liked how Daniels was being the one being sent around, like his unit being sent. Man, if you can get that, you want to be the guy that is sent by the bosses to go solve a problem.
Yes, that's true.
That's a good
They're like,
career ambition.
Hey, this person does good work.
Yep.
Let's put them on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, those are interesting. I have two that are kind of related. So the one I want to just mention is everybody should aim to leave and this actually connects to yours, is leave a legacy like Bob Colesberry did. Like if you treat people with respect,
yep.
even when they no longer like are directly connected to you, they don't, you know, but people will remember you as someone like that. And I just go do that. But the last one is, and I'm talking to Ellie, who is really active in the community. So I don't need to tell her this, but it's a good lesson from me, which is serve and be counted.
Yes.
So not
100%.
Not necessarily as a police officer or military or whatever.
Yeah.
Serve your community
in
some form.
Yep.
And in doing so, you will be counted as somebody that contributed.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Do something to impact the lives around you.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Ellie, you are a shining example of this.
Oh,
you are,
golly gee willikers,
I mean,
stop
so
it.
I'm not kidding around.
do what I can.
You know, she does way just, you know, PTA, cool, that's great.
PTA is fun.
Obviously impactful, but she does way beyond that, and it's good stuff. So
like all
she's
the stuff
my guiding light in this. So okay,
okay,
all right. Well, let us with that. First question. Anything in the episode in particular that you feel like holds up still?
I mean, I think it's, you know, it's I don't know. Gosh, I mean, everything always holds up. I do think that we're doing a better job of helping people who are formerly incarcerated. You know, I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I had a long conversation with somebody who was formerly incarcerated, and just seeing the systems around him that he was talking about that are helping him to move on and find work and do things that are fulfilling and helpful to other people was really actually pretty amazing to hear.
Great.
And so I feel, at least in this area, that there's been a lot of improvement in that. And so maybe that, I hope that doesn't hold up as well.
Yeah.
I think we still have this conversation that goes around about these, you know, free use areas. It comes up, I feel like it's cyclic, you know, it comes up, people try it out, and there are various problems with it. We're always kind of thinking about how other countries seem to pull this off, really progressive European countries. So yeah, that's one that keeps on cropping up as well.
I agree.
So that seems like ever present.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, you know, connected to that is that the thing that I'm maybe more cynical about is that we, as a kind of a voting populace, still look at the kind of the base level numbers, you know, and we don't think about it holistically. So we're like, oh, murder numbers are up or down or whatever, and we think immediately good or bad, and that's as far as we go.
Right.
And we don't think about, is there a broader activity that we can take, you know, and so the thing is that, like, that Colvin says ignorance is bliss, and I don't want to tell the bosses, because they will immediately shut it down, because not because they think it's necessarily a bad idea, but because they will get absolutely, you know, destroyed by the mayor, or, and, you know, and why? Because the public will get mad.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what the hell are you doing? And even though it's the only real, you know, it's the only solution that will really, like, has a chance of having an effect, because whatever's they've been doing so far hasn't worked. So anyway, so yes, I think that we are still working through this. So it's interesting that they tried it. This, you know, came out 20 years ago, and people are still trying to sort this out.
Yeah.
So cities are still trying to sort this out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel like the notion of looking at drug use is not seen as quite the scourge that it was before.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that feel accurate?
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if that's just because, you know, there's less use, or because there's more education around what addiction is, and you know, looking at it more holistically.
Yeah. I mean, well, we have in the Seattle area, and maybe that's part of the reason that I have this perspective, but in the Seattle area, marijuana is legal to buy and sell and,
that's true.
Use personally. So,
which that used to be
part
of some drug busts.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy as that seems.
Yeah. So
nowadays.
Anyway. Yeah. So I think that for this season, the politics are probably going to hold up every single time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for going through it, and unfortunately, not weaving this time. It's all just wrapped into one big
everything is touching everything else right now.
Much,
which I love.
Yeah.
Because I love seeing how these characters are, crossing these storylines and interacting with each other. But man, it is so much. It's a lot.
Exactly.
It is a lot of new characters too.
Yes.
This season. Yeah.
Well, you're doing well, Ellie. So good job. Here's the toughest part.
Oh God.
Do you have predictions?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Predictions. So I think Cutty's going to get a job interview.
Okay.
But I think that they're not going to like that he's a former felon.
Okay.
Let me see here. I don't know if we're going to have anything out of Omar this next episode. I think that's going to be quiet for a little bit.
Okay.
Let me see here. I think Bunk is still going to be looking for the weapon. I don't think he's going to find it.
Okay.
Just kind of like we never find out who the Jane Doe is.
Mm-hmm.
And this one will never find the weapon.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, let me see here. I think we're going to start seeing the police officers interacting with people in the Western and telling them where to take their business.
Okay.
And them going over there.
Okay.
And I don't think we're going to see fallout from that yet. I think this is just going to be kind of a process of them moving over there.
Okay.
Oh, man. Stringer, I don't know what Stringer is going to do about Marlowe now. I guess, it's probably on, right? Like, probably Stringer's going to talk to Avon, and Avon's going to say, is war.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else.
I mean, that's 5.
Okay.
That's 5 right there. So that's a healthy amount.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
All
well, very
right.
good. All right. Well, thank you, Ellie. So good job making it through. All right. We will be back next week to cover season 3, episode 4, Amsterdam.
Oh, speaking of European.
Yeah. And I mean, you've already, I almost should just give you credit right now. Start seeing the police officers talk about how to sell drugs. Like Amsterdam, pretty much on it. So, all right. Well, we'll end there on that note. Okay. Ellie, thank you so much. Great episode.
Chris.
All right.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah. All right. And we will see you all next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time.
No.